The Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, was the greatest example of loving your enemies. Yes. See, Judas was his disciple, whom he called, and also he was his enemy. So, then also, because Judah did not choose this, Judah, aka Judas, was his enemy, not by choice. See, some people are not even intentionally your enemy. But the reality is they are your enemies. Yet that does not stop you from loving them. For the Messiah knew from the beginning that Judas was the betrayer. And yet he still loved him unconditionally. He was the living example of loving your enemy. Right? And so I ask people, what is difficult about loving someone who lives intentionally or unintentionally as your enemy? Because yet, even though Judas was predestined to do that, he made conscious decisions to betray his very Lord and Savior, who loved him as he loved the rest of the disciples. Some people intentionally do things to backstab you, to betray you. Some people do it unconsciously. Some people live as enemies to the cross of Christ, do things that are controversial to your life, potentially and unintentionally. Yet I ask you, how is that preventing you from loving them unconditionally? For if it's unconditional, it's not predicated on them seeking or even being able to reciprocate the same amount of love, affection, appreciation, and desire. See, me desiring you to be the best version of yourself is not predicated upon you having the same desire for me. I don't need reciprocity in order for me to be who I am. I don't need recognition. I don't need accolades. I am who I am, regardless of who can see it or those who see it choose to acknowledge. And that does not mean that I reduce the standard of who I am. It does not even mean that I will overlook that you could provide more value in our relationship. Yet, though I may deal with you according to how you choose to deal with me, the way I deal with you will not reduce the amount of love I have for you, if you follow. See, you can want the best for an individual by simply being the best version of yourself. And every chance you get, you pray for them. You do the best when it's not just convenient, but when it's conducive to be around them. And sometimes laying down your life and prioritizing people who don't have your best interests is conducive to who you are in the season in which you're in. And sometimes it's not. But we got to make the decision not predicated upon where they're at, but where God has called you to be. For it was a necessity for Judas to have the role that he had, for the Messiah to achieve what he needed to achieve. See, some people are in your life in order for you to achieve what you need to achieve. They're sent to see if they can sabotage you or advantage you. See, some people who may have been sent to curse you end up blessing you like Balaam on the mountain. Because that who God blessed can no man curse. See, people sought him to sabotage the people of Israel, but he ends up advancing generations of Israelites instead. See, sometimes if you If you try to push away your enemies, you prevent the table that the Most High is trying to set. For the Spirit has said through David, I have prepared a table in the presence of my... Yes, he has prepared a table in the presence of your enemies. But if you got no enemies, are you sure you're going to have the table? For the table was predicated upon your enemies being present. And in some instances, and in other instances, you must flee. It says, go from the wicked when you perceive not wisdom from their mouth. So understanding the season that you're in. But irregardless, if you love them from a distance or you love them closely, you love them unconditionally. Is